Jump right into Q&As and kind of go from there. Who's up? I am.
You want marital advice? I got plenty of that.
Nate, where's Fifi?
Fifi's in Paris, man. I just told Superman, Dean's on there, that if my Fifi was here, she'd be going home with him. So, yeah, she's in Paris with her daughter.
She's not leaving you, Nate.
For a 60th, Fifi? Not a chance. She hasn't left for 20 years. Why would she leave me now? 21 years. Now she's in Paris with her daughter for her 16th birthday. So, yep, she'll be back Sunday. So what's up? What do you guys want to know?
Fire away. I got a question for
Uh-huh.
you. The AWA put out these line of action figures in 1985 where all the bodies were the same, they're incredibly buff, but the heads were different. You were one of them. Did you ever agree to that, or was that
AWA?
AWA?
I wouldn't have been involved with them then.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
I was wondering if they agreed to.
No, I never heard anything about it. I don't even know. I mean, to be honest with you, nothing bad intended. I didn't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Yes, sir.
Okay, this guy here, on the way here last night, this guy coached me into doing my impression. But, so he came up with all this stuff. He had all this stuff. Custom made, head to toe, long limousines, fine clothes, jet airplanes. Where did that come from? I mean, you just didn't wake up and...
I did.
Everything.
Nobody wrote that down for me, buddy.
But did you develop it over some time?
I developed it and I did it. So nothing I said I didn't do, unfortunately. Sometimes it worked out for me, sometimes it didn't. Yeah, I spent a lot of money doing that, but I believed in my gimmick, and I believed in, it wasn't a gimmick, it was me. That's what I was, and I don't regret a minute of it. But I made up all that stuff, just on the fly.
We all remember it.
Yeah, thank you. It's all trademark, don't use it. Okay, yeah, baby.
Who do you respect the most in wrestling, and what was your favorite match?
Who do I respect the most right now that's currently wrestling?
Yes.
Well, my best friend in the business is Hunter. It's not a surprise. But I respect all the guys. I mean, anybody that's up there on that main roster, I mean, NXT as well, it's an incredible commitment to time and work and travel. And those guys pay a lot of sacrifices. It's not like, when I started, it's a lot different. We traveled all the time. We didn't, we drove 3,000 miles a week. But those guys are still doing, 200 plus days a year, is 250 probably. What they've seen in Orton, probably doing close to 300 a year. And that's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of travel. So I like all of them. I love John Cena. I mean, everybody knows that. I like Randy Orton a lot. I like all the kids. Yeah. The guys that I hung around with the most, like Shawn and Undertaker, never gone. So, but I like all the guys. I love. When I go up there for Raw or something, I have a great time. But it's toned down right now, man. It's a different world than when we used to run around in the 80s and 90s. It's a controlled environment. Go ahead.
Minus, obviously minus the Horsemen, what was like your favorite group of people that they'd have you with? Like, you could even call it a faction or like.
Well, there's only two groups of the Horsemen I liked. I liked the one with Arn and Barry and Tully, JJ, and that. And then I liked the one with Dean Malenko, Arn, Mongo, and Benoit. The rest of them you could have.
Yeah.
Just something they threw against the wall,
Right.
Go ahead.
Speaking of the horse.
But I like Evolution too. I had a lot of fun with those guys.
Yeah.
Very much.
What do you think about the new, or who just joined up Monday?
For Evolution?
Yeah.
Who joined
The
up?
whole, the thing with Rollins, with Seth Rollins.
Did he join Evolution? I watched the show, I didn't see it.
The very end.
I watched Dave quit, I didn't know.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
The Queen wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I knew Dave was going home. But I didn't see the deal with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it was.
Was that after the Orton Reigns match?
No,
They
it's
didn't even
during.
have the Orton Reigns.
Oh, they didn't have it, huh?
Yeah.
Right there, he turned on right in the ring.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so I've been so focused on my daughter that,
Oh, sure.
that I'm not, I do watch it, but not like I
That
watch
was
her.
an incredible match.
Yeah, thank you,
Absolutely incredible match.
thank you. Yes, young lady,
I have a question for you.
5114.
Very odd.
What was the difference between being with the Horsemen and being with Evolution, like the dynamic? How was it different?
Oh, God, Evolution was a controlled environment. The Horsemen, whatever we said on TV, we did. 18 to 28. No boyfriends, no husbands. Jets, limousines. Yeah, now the Evolution, the business, in the 80s we worked so hard, but we had so much fun we didn't know we worked. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we wrestled every night, went to bed at 6 a.m., caught the next flight, and did, that Great American Bash tour. We did that, 45 days in a row, all the way from New York to LA. That was fun. You couldn't hung in there, sister. You got home 10 days in. Yes.
I'm the same age as Hunter.
Uh-huh.
And Batista, I'm 45. So I've been watching you for 40 years.
Yeah.
And I would see you on 2 different stations. Living here, we would get the Buffalo affiliate. We'd get you on Mid-Atlantic with David Crockett.
Yeah.
Commentating.
Yeah.
And,
David did TBS too, so
yeah.
that's both.
And we would get you out of Maple Leaf Gardens, like
Yeah.
Maple Leaf Wrestling.
Yeah.
With the tons.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking, what can I ask you when you watch somebody for 40 years, read the book, meetings, I know the whole, you're going to Toronto tomorrow night?
Where am I going, son?
Huh?
Where am I going,
I want to know where you're going tonight.
Tonight, there's a woman here in this room that's a potential victim. I'm just kidding.
Of all,
Yeah.
of all, of all the interviews, I think when you were going through that Eric Bischoff period, those might have been the best.
Yeah.
It-
He made me get creative.
Yeah, 'cause like you said, it's real.
Yeah.
Were those, would you rank them as the best interviews you did?
Oh, I don't know, gosh.
Like the one where you went down to your boxers and you drew the shoes in the crowd.
Which time? I did that like more than once.
Yeah, but it was
It's
the one I think where you.
$2,000 a pair of shoes,
Yeah,
so.
you handcuffs yourself.
Yeah, that was in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was in-
I don't know.
That kind of sticks out
Mhm.
as maybe the best one,
Yeah.
but there's so many. The only guy that I thought that rivaled you, and not really,
Yeah.
but I thought Arn at his best.
Yeah, Arn was a different style. Arn was great, God. A different style, I don't know, I think, I don't, people send me YouTube stuff and all that, so like I see that random Ric Flair deal and Ric Flair going nuts and that, but I've been doing that my whole career. I can't pick one out that I thought was the best,
Yeah.
I thought that one I did with Precious, where I made love to the mannequin, was pretty good, but TBS almost took us off the air for it. I put a lot of thought into that. Yes, sir.
I was just wondering why Flair Hogan didn't happen at WrestleMania.
You know, I'll never know the answer to that.
There
I
was
never
no
asked.
reason given, there was no explanation. It was
No,
just, no, we're going into
that was the
first.
full intention initially.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Uh-oh, HBK's in the house, guys. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. The story with, sorry, I just wanted to follow up with the working with Macho Man at WrestleMania 8 and thoughts about that match. Because that was up there as one of my favorites too.
Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought we had an average match, you know. Randy was he was in the middle of that divorce then.
Yeah.
It was not a good time in his life. And that was a very difficult, divorce was not a result of that angle that we shot, you know, but, Randy was having a real difficult time at that point, and I don't think we had a good match. It was okay. Nothing like me and Steamboat.
No, not at all. But I mean, for the first matchup, big matchup, I thought it was actually decent.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
You know, it was a hard time for Randy.
Yeah.
You know, and then right the next day they were split up. So
Wow.
yeah, but that was you know, I helped break Randy into business. I've known Randy since 74, 75. You know, so it's just sad to see him go a couple of years ago. He just finally got himself happy again, had a nice wife, and all the money in the world. You never know, man.
Yeah.
Just came to an end. That's why you gotta live every day.
Some people aren't as smart as you and don't realize that.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. It isn't what my accountant or my attorney says. So what's up? What else? Go ahead.
Got a Andre the Giant story for us?
Oh God, you know, Andre and I started together. I drove Andre around when he was Jean Ferrer, you know. So God, I got a lot of. When I took nobody. He wasn't Andre the Giant when he broke into business. He started in Minneapolis with me, and Vern had me driving around. So you can imagine when I took him to Rush Street in Chicago. God, it was glorious. And then the night at the Downtowner, and Charlie drank 106 beers. And Frank Valois is the guy that was traveling with him, drank 56. So, you know, one of the demolition downstairs, Barry Darsley, you know, Barry is.
Yeah.
I've seen Barry drink 56 beers.
Oh, yeah.
Barry should get here.
How's the big show with him?
Huh?
How's the big show doing?
Oh, he's a lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lightweight. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I get you to give me a Ric Flair knife edge shot?
No. What's that? I thought you said 2 minutes ago. I thought you were wrapping me up.
No. I mean, now you mentioned earlier that it's not a character; it's actually you. And with that being said, with your autobiography, there was actually a lot of controversy that was done where some of the actual guys had a back and forth with you. Mic Foley, Hulk Hogan.
Hogan never had a back and forth with me, and Foley got punched in the mouth for opening his mouth.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about Bret in the book.
No, well, I mean, if you look, he had a couple of comments against you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's atypical of the business, you know. Everybody's gonna say something. I see Bret all the time, and we're fine.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, in real life, I'm just saying, I mean, you know, you're your own character, and you're your own person. It's just
Yeah,
the back and
no.
forth that was in between.
Well,
all
I
that.
just gave Foley what I wrote. It's called a receipt, you know.
Right.
So he didn't like it. I just said it to him again at WrestleMania. He got mad again, and I was paying him a compliment. You know, he's temperamental.
Right.
It's sad, you know, because I was paying him a compliment.
Well, yeah, you said you was actually a stuntman more than a wrestler.
No, I said he'd overstayed his welcome. You know, he turned that into him being too old to be in the business, and I meant jumping off the cages, rolling around thumbtacks and barbed wire.
Right.
Overstayed your welcome.
Yeah.
He beat his brains out, you know,
Mhm.
working hard for the fans, but he gets, who knows what Mick does, he just gets, you know, he's paranoid. I saw the only thing I can come up with, he's a nice guy.
Right.
You know, beautiful family. And he's got a good deal on the road now with these comedy shows, so he's doing good.
What's your fondest memory of Roddy Piper?
Huh?
What did you think of the mankind downstairs?
What
Did you
mankind?
see him? There was a mankind downstairs. Did you see him?
I didn't see him, no.
Damn.
What's your fondest memory of Roddy Piper?
Oh, I can't tell it.
Oh, yes, you can.
A lot of those. He's a great, great guy. I've had a lot of fun with Hot Roddy. I don't have one story about him I can tell. Yeah, man, go ahead.
The chemistry you had with the original Horseman, especially with Tully Blanchard, Double A, that was just priceless.
Mhm.
I mean.
Nothing like it ever in the history of the business. Not even to this day.
So did you guys like work that out before you would come on and do the, or was it just natural?
Just natural. There was no time to work anything out. We didn't work things out back then, man. We traveled, you know, and had fun. And through the fun came the ability was there, but you know, to be good at what you do, you have to like what you do. And that's in any aspect of any profession. If you don't like what you're doing for a living, you're not gonna be any good at it. That's just the way it is, you know. We liked it and we had fun and we worked hard. It was a craft. We were good at our craft, and it just all came natural. Yes, sir.
When you won the real title.
You owe me $50.
Against the Harleys, right? What was the feeling like when you won the title against your first title in '84?
81.
81, sorry. Well, against Harley Race. What was it feeling like?
That was against Dusty Rhodes. Brother, you are a day late, $1 short. As a matter of fact, $50 short. Yeah, when you get your facts right, raise your hand again, okay? Who's next? What?
Of all the things you do, the one thing that was frustrating on is I always thought, why would you have to put everybody over? Didn't those guys in the room, whether it was Bret Hart or all these other guys that should have been laying down for you, you put everybody over.
Yeah.
Did you ever think to yourself, because Hogan didn't put nobody over, or very few.
Mhm.
You were overly generous. And sometimes it was like, Rick, come on. I know you were bulletproof, you didn't need to win.
Look where I am now.
Yeah.
You died, you know, I was getting paid for this. I never beat anybody.
At least.
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't care.
Would you say Dusty?
It wasn't.
When Dusty started booking?
It wasn't worth arguing about. I'm gonna outperform anyway. People are gonna go home saying, "Holy shit! How did he get beat? He's so much better than the other guy."
The guy that you feud with that put you over, and I saw you fight him in.
Who is that?
Terry Funk.
Oh yeah, Terry. Yeah, Terry's great.
See, like you were beating Funk
Mm-hmm.
when you had that feud.
Yeah.
89, or 90.
89, 90. Yeah.
89, 90.
Yeah.
I just thought.
Yeah. Terry's a classic.
This guy grew up on you. Sometimes I thought he should come up to you and say, no, I'm gonna lay down for you.
I didn't care about that. You worry about winning and losing in this business. You're not gonna sleep very well at night.
Obviously, guys do though, right?
Huh?
Obviously, all
Oh,
backstage,
of course.
they like old.
Well, it was. Let me tell you that the spot for that WWE Championship back in the '80s was a hot spot. I wasn't involved with that. I was with NWA then, but it was Hogan had a lot of competition with that belt. Trust me. Nobody wanted to cooperate at any level. Go ahead.
Just wondering, when you were in the ring, what were the worst conditions you had to wrestle under, ever?
Oh God, we used to wrestle outdoors a lot, you know, and I wrestled in rainstorms, you know, in baseball fields, walking in the ring, and you know, you've got a pair of $500 wrestling boots on, there's mud all over them. I can't. The conditions, you know, were You know, it just changed. We don't do that anymore. You know, when I was younger, even in the late '70s, we were wrestling in ballparks. Lightning, thunder, rain, didn't care. The promoters didn't care. You know? They just wanted to, you know, get the last dollar they could out of the crowd. So, look back on it as being a bad experience. It's just something I didn't like doing. You know, nobody did. Yes, sir.
Just wondering if there's any good Mr. Perfect rib stories.
Any Mr. What?
Mr. Perfect rib stories? Did he ever get you? I
No.
heard he was known for.
No.
No?
Kurt was a great guy.
I love the loser leave town match you had on Raw with him.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, it was great. Kurt was a great guy. His son is doing very well with the company. He's a good kid. Yes, ma'am.
When did you first decide you wanted to be a wrestler?
The day that the dean of students told me I couldn't go to school anymore. Said I gotta find something to do fast. So I stayed in a fraternity house for a year and just told my parents I was still in college. That got over well. Go ahead.
In 2001, when McMahon bought WCW, how did you feel about that?
I wish I had had the $6 million. Knowing he could get it for $6 million, I would have bought it myself. He bought the library. That's all they bought.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, he's an incredibly smart guy, and you know, Vince doesn't make many mistakes. So I didn't even realize they were buying it, you know, because I was home and there's about 10 of us. It was ridiculous, just home getting paid, you know. And it happened, but he didn't pay anything what it would have been worth if you take the monetary value of the library now,
Yeah.
especially with the network. Yes, sir. Yes.
How did, after this gentleman's question, how did the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, get the honor?
He asked for it.
Really? And that was it?
Mm-hmm.
And that was it?
I was very flattered.
That's amazing. You know what? You are absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
You are unbelievable.
Thank
That's
you.
why you're looking at the Heartbreak Kid coming right in front of you, big man.
I'll have to call him and tell him I saw him here today.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
We went to the Foley comedy show, and he didn't have too many good things to say about TNA. And I know a lot of people seem they don't. Your stuff with Jay Lethal, throwing shoes at each other on the aisle, was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And some of the things he said to you, stealing your lines and everything, and you just got, this very genuine, I can't believe you're saying this look on your face. Like, how did you feel about all that? How much of that, did he talk to you about beforehand, or, were you flattered by the whole thing, or was he getting your skin a little bit?
No.
It looked great. It
Oh,
looked
I love Jay Lethal. I wish they let him go. I don't know why. He's a very talented guy. No, I was flattered by the fact that he can do all that. He's a good kid too.
And a great person to talk to.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, Jay. But there you go again. They said Foley is burying TNA.
A little bit.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Somebody asked him what he thought about his time down there. He's like, well, I like it because I can go outside and see the Hulk coaster. Like that's all.
See the what?
See the Hulk coaster? I don't know. Is that like nearby down there? I have no idea.
I think that's a shot at Hogan.
It wasn't very fun.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Two-part question. Whose idea was the watch? And you have it with you today.
I don't take it on the road with me. The one that Shawn gave me?
Yes.
Oh, he gave it to me as a gift after the match.
Yeah. Oh, so it was his idea.
Yeah, it wasn't mine. I already had two of my own, but not like that.
Yeah,
I used to wear it all the time, but when I'm traveling, if I go to the gym, I can't leave it in the hotel room. You ask someone at the gym to hold it for you. I'm not going to put it in a locker in the gym. It's a $70,000 watch. It's probably worth $100,000, because of the situation. I don't even wear my Hall of Fame rings. I gave my Hall of Fame rings to my sons. Go ahead.
What was Vern Gagne like as a person outside of wrestling? What was he like as a trainer and then as a boss?
And excellent at all three. Great guy. Man's man. Yep. Good guy. Yes.
We already talked about Roddy Piper, but what was it like to do the wife swap with him?
That was fun.
Was that
fun? I didn't see him till the last day, Yeah, but I'd known Kitty for 30 years, so that worked out easy. Poor Wendy had to go out there and live on the hill with him. That'd be hard to do. Yeah, go ahead.
Whose idea was the fake mustache?
Oh, that was theirs, it wasn't mine, trust me. Remember, it was her day to dress me up and take me shopping, so. Go ahead.
Between the Four Horsemen and the Evolution, which stable do you had the most fun?
Four Horsemen.
Four Horsemen?
Yep. That wouldn't take me 5 seconds to think that out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you have a favorite match that you did?
Well, I liked working with Ricky Steamboat. So if pick one of the matches with Steamboat, my favorite. And I wish I could have wrestled Sean when I was younger, you know, because when I retired, I was what, 59, right? Yeah, so I was 59. So if I could wrestle Sean back when I was 35 or 40, it would have been pretty phenomenal for me. Or Hunter or something like that, you know. But yeah, Ricky Steamboat, I just really enjoyed working with him. He's a classic. Yes.
I just want to say, I bet you the outcome would have been different.
What's that?
You wrestling Shawn Michaels at 35 or 40.
I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you, Shawn Michaels is in an elite class by himself.
He was, but you were over the top.
Well, I appreciate that, but I.
You know what, Shawn Michaels is 100%. Don't get me wrong, but you were 150%. You realize
Boy, you'd really be pissing him off if he was here right now.
Right now, I'd be dressed as you.
I like that.
I'm not kidding.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all the respect. Yes, sir.
Is there anyone that you haven't wrestled yet that you?
The only guy I haven't wrestled is Cena.
Yeah.
The only guy I haven't wrestled that would be of any name recognition that that you guys would consider big time players is John.
Anybody else?
Now I've wrestled The Rock.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, I was wrestling the Funks and the Briscoes and Brody and Hanson and Jumbo and Tenryu and Fujinami and all those guys that nobody else wrestled. Brett and Hogan and Shawn and Triple H, they didn't wrestle those guys, and I came along at a different time in the business, where I was traveling so much, and so it kind of, that's why I feel like it's to my advantage when people say you've done a lot, because I have.
Right.
There's nobody I missed along the way except John.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Did you ever wrestle Bill Eadie when he was a Mass Superstar?
Oh yeah, many times.
How was that?
Great. Yeah, Bill's a great guy too, man. But I watched Bill get stabbed one night, saving my ass in Richmond. Looked around, the guy stabbed Bill trying to cut me. Yeah, we were wrestling a Blackjack Mulligan.
Oh.
Yeah, and Mulligan got me the backbreaker, and Bill hit the ring.
How was Blackjack these days, buddy?
And he's in bad health. Yeah, thank you for asking. He weighs about 450 pounds. He's got it's called congestive heart failure. Yeah, he's not good. Thank you for asking. Yep.
With you being an icon that you are, and the way wrestling's going these days.
There's any women in this room who like icons lined up on the wall?
I mean,
are you icon? What do you call it? Iconics?
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
an icon, somebody who, as a kid, I watched you growing up. You're one of the top wrestlers that you remember as Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. A name that's out there. How do you feel the fact that during this day and age that you get little pieces back and forth? You get to be on Raw when they do the old school. You get to do NXT, things like that. Lenny Poffo is here today, and he's securing the rooms for celebrities that come out. You know what I mean? Being one of the old school wrestlers that you are.
What's Lenny doing?
He's before a celebrity comes in one of the rooms. Lenny's one of the guys that secures the room and asks a couple of questions and get
everything. He's not signing autographs?
Nah, he's here.
Huh. I saw him. I flew up with him. Yeah. I mean, I don't put a lot of thought into that. I just feel like, I don't take anything for granted. I overly respect the fact that the fans are so gracious to me.
I guess what the question I'm asking is, everyone has respect for you. I mean, how do you feel that the fact that wrestling nowadays, that they only use you for certain little pieces? Or you're
Well,
not...
that's because I had a blood clot. I just passed my physical. I'll be on TV all the time now.
Okay.
You
Great.
don't get it, brother.
Glad to see you back in action.
I just spent a day in Pittsburgh. Lord. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think about it anyway, because I'm gonna go to NXT again this week and see my daughter on Thursday, and they've got that Full Sail again, so those are the things that matter to me now.
Right.
I just want to see her go all the way, and she will. She's that good.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, you're one of the...
No brag, just fact, brother.
You're one of the guys that you get a long haul. You're a sticking matter. You know what I mean? I mean, unfortunately, you see some of the other guys that are out there that aren't doing as well as you are.
Well, I've been really blessed health-wise. I was talking to Brunzell and Brian Blair and all the guys, and I'm the only guy, and I don't have any health issues. Except the blood clot,
right.
Which is better. But I said to Hunter the other day, I'd rather have had the blood clot than have an artificial hip, an artificial knee,
right,
back surgery, neck surgery. I mean, all these guys have had all that shit.
Oh yeah.
And I've been able to dodge it somehow. I think it's the young women in my life. Yes, sir.
How was Barry Windham to work with?
Oh God, fabulous.
Do you think he should have maybe achieved a little more with his talent?
I think he would have if he hadn't hurt his knee. When Barry hurt his knee, he allowed himself to get heavy, and it just never came back around. His knee bothered him forever. So, Barry just liked to have fun. He wasn't overly worried about anything, but he was a phenomenal performer.
Yeah, he had some great matches.
Yeah. He was great.
Isn't he Whale and Mercy?
Huh?
Was that Whale and Mercy?
Who?
Wyndham, wasn't he Whale and Mercy, or was that a different guy?
No, that was Dan Spivey. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I didn't want their faces and stuff.
Yep, go ahead.
Outside of you, Rick, best guy on the mic, who would you say?
Well, my favorite,
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
Hands down. I thought Roddy was great too, but for my personal entertainment, Dusty Rhodes was great. We could sell out arena without even working.
Yeah.
Just talking. He was great. Yes, sir.
Rick, that move where you go into the corner and you end up upside down, what do you call that move?
My daughter can do better. What's that?
Is there a name for it?
Just the upside down bump. I learned that from Ray Stevens. He can do better than anybody.
A follow-up to that. When I was young, here in Canada, we didn't see you as much as in the States. We were big WWF at the time. So when you came up as the real world champion, and they would blur out the title on TV,
Yeah.
that was unbelievable. Any comments on that time period when you first came in?
I was excited to get here, man. I have all my friends were here. I'm the last guy to come from NWA. I should have come in '86. I had a chance, but I was so loyal to NWA, and I was the Four Horsemen and all that. But I could have come as early as '86, but I didn't. I called Vince one day and I go, "Well, I'm ready." He said, "Oh, bullshit." I said, "No, I haven't." I said, "And I also got the belt." He said, "Send it to me and I'll believe you, okay?" 10:30 in the morning. You were right, I got it. That was it.
That was great.
But dumbass Jim Hurd. And I mean dumb ass. Hello, yes sir.
Did you ever fight the original Sheik?
No, never did. I knew him, but I never did. He was retired when I came home. Yeah. Yep.
The 1992 Royal Rumble was a fantastic match where you won the world title. The talent in that match was amazing. What were your feelings about the match and actually the talent that was in it?
Well, it was one of those things, like I said, I wrestled everybody, so everybody anybody that was anybody in the business was in that ring that night, you know, so it was real cool. Yeah, I don't overthink things like that, you know, I thought it was okay. I never had liked battle royals, so I never thought that, you could really position yourself to look great, and everybody said, that was great, you look so cool, I don't know what I do. You know, I stumbled around the ring like everybody else trying to figure out what number I was.
Bobby Heenan called that, his quote from that match was, that was one of the few times where I felt he was real.
Yeah.
Felt it was so emotional.
I just text my agent that I was killing Superman at the table. She goes, who? Ha ha. She's smart. Ask me that again. Sorry.
Sorry, this is Bobby Heenan's quote from that match years later. He said he was so emotionally invested in it that he felt it was real.
Me or him?
He said that. He felt it.
Yeah. Well, it was. It was, you know, it was, I didn't even know I was going to win it till that day. That was never, it wasn't something like I knew about it a month before, so when he told me that, I went, I probably said, are you sure? And he said, yeah. So I went, okay. It wasn't a question of getting tired, I never got tired, so. Yeah, I mean, it was really a cool feeling because I had just, you know, come out of that miserable, depressive place I was at with her, so. It was a huge shot in the arm for me. Yes, sir.
I asked you a question earlier downstairs about young guys who want to get into wrestling because they're kind of interested in seeing what they see on TV. And I know that you told me don't do it. I asked Foley last year. He said don't do it. I mean, I'm wondering why is it that you know, guys,
It's a ridiculously hard profession to get in. If you were 6'5" and weighed 275 pounds, I might say yeah. But that, I mean, you know, I'd look at it and I'd have to ask about your athletic background, and I mean, there's 1,000 reasons why you wouldn't get in it.
But you got guys like, you know, well, you got Daniel Bryan Danielson, you got shorter guys coming in now, especially from NXT. I mean, they're athletic, but they're not the iconic vision that Vince would see back in the 80s and the 90s. But they've been hurting their bodies a lot more. But I don't know, I mean.
Well, Daniel Bryan's been in the business, I guess somebody told me 12 years.
Yeah.
So he's been around a long time, you know.
He's been around. But,
Yeah.
You know, he's been full, hanging on, but.
Yeah, well, he's a kamikaze pilot up there, man. He's not afraid of anything. And the fans respect that. You know, that's why they respect him. He works his ass off. But he's got to be careful because that stuff catches up with you. He's got an issue right now that's got to be take care of and let it heal correctly. Yes.
Question for you. When Vince was wrestling back in the day, and it was funny for me anyways, what was it like to wrestle Vince McMahon?
Tremendous.
Because he's very stiff to work with.
How do you know that?
Well, I mean, just always matches with you. That was a great match. That was probably my favorite match I think I've ever seen you in, only because it was Vince McMahon, and what you put him through was great. But even when he was fighting Hogan too, he's fearless for his age. I'll give him that. But
No, what he is he's a guy that would never ask you to do anything he wouldn't do. And yeah, he is fearless. But he was great. I mean, I was thrilled and honored to be in the ring with him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you have, by chance, anybody or anything that you can tell any future aspiring wrestler, like this gentleman right here? I've seen him a couple times, and he is absolutely great. Is there anything you can tell him to make his game a little better?
Stand up.
I've seen him many, I really have. I've seen him many times in person.
Well, I can't, you know, I'm not gonna budge on what I'm saying, you know. If you want to find out, you know, what kind of ability you have, go to NXT. That's the only way you're gonna get to WWE. It's not gonna be from a tryout. They don't even do them anymore. So, I mean, they've got a phenomenal developmental system down there. that they've invested a lot of money in, and, you know, Hunter, that's his baby now, is NXT, and they put a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of thought, and a lot of work into that, developmental program. And so, I mean, I've been to Raw, what, 3 times in the last couple of tryouts, so, I mean, that's, the days of guys just walking in and getting in the ring are over. As far as I know.
One more questions and we'll wrap it up.
Thank you, brother. I got the stopwatch on. Okay, let's go. Yes, sir.
Is it building an actual brick and mortar Hall of Fame?
I don't know. But I know they're gonna do it, but whether that's, you know, where they are with that right now, I don't know. But they have spent a fortune on that, developmental program down there, the NXT facility. It's phenomenal. Well, it's like an NFL training center. It's that nice.
Back about Bobby Heenan, have you talked to him lately?
Huh?
Bobby Heenan?
I have not. I haven't seen Bobby in about. I was gonna see him in New Orleans, but I never got up with him.
Saw some pictures, kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty sad. Yeah, he's a phenomenal. There is a phenomenal talent. He was one of the best in-ring performers I've ever been. I never wrestled, but I was in the ring with him. When Bobby wanted to go, man, he could go.
He's the best commentator I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, yeah. He and Jim Ross and Gordon Soley, and actually, Mean Gene doesn't do color, but I love Mean Gene too. You know, I mean, there's 3 or 4 of them, all just extremely gifted. Hello.
Yeah, when you were talking about the stabbings and stuff on the Four Horsemen DVD, it talks about Psycho Sid stabbing Arn Anderson.
Yeah, no comment. Yes, sir.
When it comes to today's talent and everything, who do you enjoy watching the most?
I mean, all the guys. I don't know.
Yeah, like basically whoever's like TNA, WWE, NXT, like who do you enjoy?
Well, I haven't watched TNA in a while.
Not the only one.
Yeah, no, you know, when I was there, they had some great performers. I don't even know what's there anymore. I mean, James Storm and Rude and guys like that, and Jay Lethal. I mean, those guys are top-notch guys because they're in and that. So I don't watch the show anymore, so I don't know who's good or who's not, you know. But it's not because I don't want to watch it. It's because I'm watching LeBron win the NBA championship, hopefully, and he'll be on next Thursday. So, but I like all the guys, you know. I really like the Shield guys. I think they're great. If you're talking about young guys coming along, you know, that Roman Reigns kid, all 3 of those guys are special. They're all going to do really well in the business. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now, you're mentioning guys you like now, okay? Let's talk about guys from the past. Who do you honestly don't like?
I can't say. There's only a couple of guys I didn't like. But you wouldn't know they were. No, I got nothing wrong with Shane. I understood where he was.
I mean, it's a business, so, you know, I mean, obviously, it's a business, so obviously there's going to be...
It's whatever Shane said, whether they meant it or not, it didn't affect me. That's the way you look at it.
Who's tougher, Brody or Hanson?
Mean in a fight?
Any way to work with or to...
Oh, no, neither one of them are hard to work with. I didn't mean that. I just said they were a handful because they were both incredibly conditioned because of all the work in Japan. Japan would make a measure of a man. That place was rough in the 80s, man.
Did you wrestle those guys in Japan at all?
Yeah. Wrestled Brody on Japanese TV for an hour, twice. Once in St. Louis, and then I wrestled him a bunch of times over in Japan.
Is it true that the Japanese audiences don't applaud while you guys are wrestling? They sort of just watch? And...
That's where they used to be, but they go ooh, and then they applaud. Yeah, but it's different. It takes a while to get used to it. Yep.
What's the origin story behind your world famous face plant?
Just walked outside of a bar in Tampa one night and fell down. Put this in ring. As Bobby Heenan would call it, the Gordon.
That's why you the man.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know, it's funny, if I knew that it entertained people as much as I know that it did, once I started doing it, I couldn't stop because it got the biggest pop of the night. If the match sucked, If it fell on my head, face, I loved it, so. Yeah, just 2 more.
I was gonna say, the biggest pop in one of your matches was when you actually landed to move off the top rope, I think against Carlito.
Yeah.
And that, I hit the roof.
I
thought that
know,
was the funniest thing.
everybody did.
Is there anybody that you were pleasantly surprised that you worked with, like you didn't think you were gonna have a good match, but you did? Somebody caught you off guard?
I don't think so, you know. I found a way to have a pretty good match with anybody I was in the ring with. And, you know, and 99% of the guys I was in the ring with were pretty gifted. You know, there's only a few of them that were limited. And that, you know, they were limited in their ability, they made up for it with their ring presence or something, you know. Yep, one more.
Any thoughts on the Ultimate Warrior?
I didn't know him very well. I think it's pretty sad. I only wrestled him twice. So he was leaving when I came in, you know. I think it was sad, you know, and I'm glad he got his induction in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I mean, you know, I was watching him on Raw that night, and I thought, God, he doesn't look good at all. And I only saw him once during WrestleMania weekend, but they said he was, you know, he was sweating a lot, you know, and stuff like that. I didn't see him, so I never knew him that well, but I'm just happy for his family and the business that he got his moment. But it sure shocked everybody the next day, you know, so, yeah, he had his moment. But he, you know, he did a lot for the company. A lot of stories out there that they were upside down with him and all that, but that's business, and it happens in every successful business. The company paid him, and they honored him, and, you know, paid tribute to him, and then, that's why you gotta go out tonight. And you, young lady, is that your daughter? I can't say it's you then. Okay, let me think. Where's your daughter? You. What are you looking over there for? Yeah. What do you think? Hello.
Because she's looking at the sexiest man alive.
You gotta stay all night and stay a little longer.
Let's get a woo.
Woo! I'll see all you marks tomorrow.